Hi, Greg. Great to be able to spend a little bit of time. For those who haven't met you yet, maybe a word about your background and your history in commerce.
Absolutely. First of all, thanks for having me. It's great to be here. I've been at Avalara now for going on 9 years. It's hard to believe. Prior to Avalara, I was with Amazon in different capacities for, off and on for 12 years. And then prior to that, I was with a small software company in the CRM space. And so I've been in Seattle, been very fortunate to have been in, 3 long-running stints, and it's been a lot of fun. It's been incredibly interesting as time has gone on.
And it's certainly been an evolution in the industry. And one of the questions I wanted to ask you was really kind of related to the evolution of the industry. We're, of course, right now in the world of composable commerce, where customers have an incredible amount of choice. And historically, some of that choice has been reserved in the larger enterprise. But we're seeing composable now move into the mid-market and often even into markets below that. And wanted to get your opinion as to why that is, and what are some of the appeals of that for smaller organizations, and why we're all seeing that kind of adoption.
Yeah, it really aligns well with our little segment here in tax. If you go back 17 years, when Avalara was started by our founder, Scott McFarland and crew, tax automation, tax software, if you will, was for the very large. And he, saw that mid-market companies at the time, in very much, in an aligned way with Composable, they needed the same things. They had the same risk profile as those large companies. They just didn't have technology, and SaaS at the time wasn't SaaS. So there was this vision to bring tax automation in a way that was consumable, composable, if you will, with these mid-sized companies. And to your point, that's continued to evolve. And so what we are seeing now is, while the risk structure is different, very small companies have less risk, more of a convenience, they still need and desire best of breed tax automation in our segment. So, putting that in the frame of an e-commerce platform or an ERP platform or, Elastic Path or other, and making it so that it is very, consumable within that platform across other platforms. It's really, that's the way that it's gone. So what's turned in from a enterprise to mid-market, which is Avalara's space for the last 15 years, is really moving downstream. So it's followed that trend.
Yeah, I mean, we're at a very interesting time in the industry where the competence and the expertise of very large organizations and all that they've learned over time is now being distilled into an API or a suite of APIs.
That's right.
Making it now all of that domain and experience available to anyone across any channel, application, or device, and for organizations to build that the way they want. And it's a tremendous time in the industry to be able to have that kind of power rendered into something as discrete as that is. So it certainly makes sense that we're starting to see the adoption accelerate and more businesses take advantage of that.
Yeah, I think that, businesses large and small want to see things contextually within the applications that they're using, whether that's a web application or others. So the more that services like Avalara can be an API and be built into that experience, if you will, the better it is. And the more we make it easy and we make it as close to one click as possible for the very small, all the way up to the very large. Obviously, the very large have different needs, but that's the trend we see. Easily consumable, either on its own, or for us, it's always been, the connector, the integrations that we have with all these different third parties like Elastic Path. That's really a key differentiator for us, and I think it's a big part of where we're going in the future.
I couldn't agree more. Well, I just want to thank you for coming on, spending a couple of minutes to share your perspectives and your experience, and look forward to doing this again soon.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.